Belle here. So we're going to talk about that new Destiny 2 trailer that we just saw, and I want to just kind of go through and talk to you guys about the things that stuck out to me, theories that I have, and just some really cool stuff that we just saw. Let's get started. So the first thing that we basically see in the entire trailer is the fact that Gaul is talking to this other character, and we've had some whispers before about this thing or character called Consul or the Consul. I'm not really sure which one. I think it's just Consul. And I think this is our first glimpse of him. He may be a little bit smaller, but he looks pretty kick butt and sounds pretty much like he's the one that's in charge. The next thing that really stuck out is the speaker. They obviously captured the speaker. We kind of got the gist of that from the beta during the homecoming mission. The entire speaker's area was just kind of gone when you walk past there, and there is mention of the fact that the speaker is missing. But we actually get to see him there, and Gaul has this kind of pretty elaborate, like, almost looks like a torture device set up that the speaker's hooked into. And I kind of thought that Gaul's line to the speaker,
all that I have done.
It was kind of interesting because you can interpret it a lot of different ways. Like, has he captured the speaker because he wants to almost show off to him what he's done? Has he captured him because it's just a power trip and because he just wanted to have him? Or does he actually need him to help him use the power that the Traveler has? My guess is probably the last one, that he probably needs the speaker, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that goes and how well the speaker holds out. And it looks like we're finally going to have the speaker be an actual character, and I'm really hoping that part of him being tortured, as much as this sounds kind of sick, I'm really hoping part of it is that they actually maybe demask him finally. I have heard a couple people theorizing that maybe this means he's not bad. I don't know if this necessarily means the speaker is good or bad. It just means that he might be necessary to whatever Gaul has planned overall. The major thing that stuck out through this entire trailer was how much darker of a theme there seemed to be. We've got, right at the beginning, we've got who I believe is Hawthorne possibly saying the war is over, we've lost. We've got Zavala pointing out that our numbers are going to keep dwindling and that we can't protect ourselves, let alone other people. I think a lot of us might have been going into Destiny 2 thinking that a lot of what we were going to be playing was the current war, that having Gaul's attack actually be the prominent feature in the story that we're playing, when actually in reality it seems like a lot of D2 is going to be after the attack. A lot of people have already died. The city has been completely destroyed at this point. There isn't really anybody lingering around anymore. It sounds like a lot of this is us trying to pick ourselves back up and then try to take out Gaul. We're not really trying to stop him at this point. We're just trying to kind of regroup and figure stuff out. Next, we've got the fact that when you see these three Guardians walking along, if you look closely, you can tell that all of their armor is very tattered and broken. Especially if you look at the Titan is the most obvious on. He's got giant cracks and gashes in his helmet and in all of his armor pieces. The Warlock has some really dirty spots on, and from the back you can see that everything's very tattered, including the Hunter's cloak. So it looks very like thrown together armor, and you guys have been through a lot of stuff. And I thought that was really cool. That seems to be reflected in the armor, and I'm hoping that's actually how it looks when we're wearing it, not just in the cutscene. And the really exciting part to me is the next scene where they showed what looks like a bunch of NPCs, including Hawthorne, walking through the streets of the remains of the city. And I'm assuming we get to be with them. This isn't just a cutscene. I'm assuming we get to be down there. So as much as it's going to suck that the city's destroyed the first time we get to be in it, we at least, I'm pretty sure, get to go down in there. And I love the fact that Hawthorne seems to be way bigger of a character than I personally was expecting. I thought they were going to kind of just leave her as this like vendor type character at the farm. She's not always at the farm. It looks like she's almost like a fourth member of the Vanguard throughout D2. Can we just pause and take a moment to appreciate Zavala's eyelashes right here? I believe this is a moment where I could say, Zavala, your eyelashes are on fleek. And of course, we've got the normal humor thrown in from Cade when he's got Ralph the chicken in his hand. We got a couple of things here. First of all, I'm a little upset because I think I've found out now why Ralph stood me up on our date at the farm during the beta. He was off gallivanting with Cade. However, I'm really hoping that that sandwich Cade wants to have after we shoot Gaul in the face is not a chicken sandwich.
Then maybe eat a sandwich.
Also, if you look really closely in the background during the scene, right behind Akora, you will see that there is a horse. And I know this might seem kind of silly to you guys, but I think it's really cool that they're including more and more living things in Destiny 2. You know, we're like, oh, we're gonna have chickens on the farm, but there's also a horse in the background. And before you get all excited, my guess is no, we don't get to ride the horse, but yes, that would be super cool. I wanted to point out the fact that if you look at this scene here, Zavala is seen taking a Cabal's gun from the Cabal and then turning to go use it on somebody else. I don't know if this is just going to be something that the Vanguard get to do because it's kind of cool and, yeah, you know, look at them be kick butt. Or does this mean we get to do the same thing? Will we get to grab a Cabal's gun, turn around and use it? Or are we actually going to possibly get that kind of gun as a gun that we earn from an activity? I don't know. Either one would be super cool. I'm not necessarily holding my breath, but they definitely showed it for a reason, and Bungie likes to do that, so maybe it actually means something. The next thing that I have a theory about is you see Akora on her Sparrow heading towards the Cabal, and what is she doing? She's shooting while driving on her Sparrow. Now, this is something we've never been able to do before, and again, maybe it's like Zavala taking the gun from the Cabal, maybe we don't get to do it, but it only makes sense to me at this point. Like, it's never made sense to me that we drive around all these places on our Sparrow and have no way to actually arm ourselves while on the Sparrow. I understand this could bring in some really interesting, strange things happening in PvP if you could do it there as well, but in PvE, it honestly only makes sense to me that you would be able to, at the very least, have a hand cannon out and shoot, even if it's not super accurately, while on your Sparrow. So I'm just going to be hyped about that, and I'm really hoping that that's the case. They really seem to emphasize a lot of the vehicle play in general, and specifically the Sparrows, and it's not like the Sparrows look all that different, so I've got to believe that they showed them for a reason, and I believe that they showed that particular scene for a reason. They show the Sparrows a lot, they showed the Interceptor in a scene, they really emphasized the Pikes as well. Again, we've seen this tank in the background. I've heard lots of theories floating around about that we get to be in it, or is it just going to be in a scene? I have no idea. But vehicle play seems to be a bigger deal in D2, at least based off of how much they seem to keep showing them. The last thing that I noticed, it's kind of hard not to notice, but the very last scene shows some Guardians going after a giant hobgoblin. I'm pretty sure it's a hobgoblin because it's got the two tails and everything, and the head looks more hobgoblin than normal goblin. Either way, it is huge, and I'm 99% sure this is in that lost sector that you see the Guardians jumping down into. And on top of that, earlier in this trailer, when the NPCs are walking through the city area, we see this pretty epic Vex helmet. My guess is that that's probably something that we earn from the lost, like a Vex-related lost sector, possibly even the one that has the hobgoblin at the end of it, which is a cool sign that, if that's the fact, that we might be seeing a lot more themed armor. So if you think about the way when they went back and did the highest level raid modes, right, at the end of D1 here, everything was a little bit more themed specific to each raid. And I think that we might be seeing a lot more of that for every activity in D2, is that things will look a little bit like, you look at a piece of armor and you should be able to go, I know where those people got that because of the style of it, right? I know what they went through to earn that. And I think if that's the case, I think that's super cool. I think that's something we've all wanted a little bit more of. Just overall, D2 cannot come soon enough. And this trailer, I don't know about you guys, but I got goosebumps. I got super excited. I didn't know my hype could get higher, and it has gotten higher because this trailer honestly showed me the last few things story-wise that I really wanted to see going into this. And so I'm sitting in a comfortable place where I'm like, don't show me anymore. Just give me the game. Let me play the game. You guys, September 6th is going to be absolutely amazing. And yes, I will be live streaming ASAP on that day, as close to drop as absolutely possible. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Like, what things stuck out to you? Did I miss things? What are your theories about what I brought up? And how hyped are you for Destiny 2? But for now, this bunny's gotta bounce. Bye.